In this video, I'm going to be going over the secret to shooting in NBA 2K26 My Team and also give you guys all of my tips and tricks to help you guys shoot at a higher level and just explain to you guys what is the best way to shoot the basketball, whether it's going to be with the stick or whether it's going to be with the button, and just tell you guys what is the secret to shooting this year, because honestly, it's a lot different compared to last year's shooting because now we have an option to shoot either with the stick or to shoot with the button, because last year the button was honestly really not worth it, but this year you guys can see right there, I just shot with the button and you can green very consistently. I think personally, guys, though, now that they have fixed the hitch issue that's been happening in my team, they did release a patch this morning. It was, I think, patch number 2, I want to say. Maybe it was patch number 3, but they changed a patch, or they changed the hitch in a lot of jump shots that was happening in my team when you're using the stick shooting. So I think stick shooting is probably still going to be the wave, but the thing is, you can still get away with shooting with button. Like, button is very overpowered and still can be really effective. I've just found a lot more consistency when it comes to the stick shooting, and I'll explain that more here in a second. But I know a lot of people want to know, what is the best way to shoot, whether it's with the stick or whether it's with the button. And you guys can see I'm on all-star difficulty because I believe that's what the online settings are. Not going to put it on like Hall of Fame, because unless you want to play like a competitive game against somebody, you're not going to be playing on Hall of Fame. So talking about the controller settings, obviously you want to make sure your shot timing is on, but the one thing that's going to really matter when it comes to the shot timing visual cue is going to be whether you're playing, personally in my opinion, on stick shooting or whether you're playing on button. I think if you're playing on stick like I have been personally, I would go for push. I think push is just a lot better for the timing. Yes, it's not going to be as fast, but for me it feels a lot more consistent when it comes to the stick shooting compared to the button. Now, if I was playing on button, if you're going to shoot with the button when it comes to shooting, then I would personally go on set point. I know I just shot an early right there, but I just think it's a little bit more consistent to have on set point. It's going to feel a little bit faster and a little bit more consistent. That's just what I've found to be working. And if you guys are wondering what the actual cue timing means, the shot timing visual cue, basically it's going to be for when you release your shot. So the way it's supposed to work is if you play on jump, you're supposed to release the button when you jump, right? When your player does jump, then you're supposed to release, and that's how you time it, right? Or for example, if you're playing on set point, that's going to be when you get to the, I don't really know what set point means, to be honest, but I know release is when, like, well, it tells you right here actually. So it says early, user should release the button once the player has started their jump. Slightly early for set point, it says user should release the button once the player has reached the set point of their jump shot. Push is the slightly late one. User should release the button as the player begins to push the ball forward, and then release, user should release the button as the ball leaves the fingertips of the player. So I personally wouldn't recommend using release or using jump. I think set point and push is fine. Again, that really just comes down to personal preference. And another tip I can give you guys here quickly is just a very quick tip, is if you are struggling to shoot, and maybe if you're newer to this game, is I would recommend honestly putting on the shot meter just so you can understand. Now, I'm probably not going to be as good with it just because I like the meter to be off. It just feels a lot more, I don't know why I just can't shoot with the meter on, but I mean, I guess I can shoot with it on. So I think if you're struggling, this is a good tip to help you guys, just to get used to it, right? And you can see right there, you just saw I did not time it properly. And right there again, I'm not greening the timing, but I'm greening the tempo and I'm still making shots. And you guys are probably wondering, well, how does that make any sense? And I think that's the reason why stick shooting is better in my opinion, because right there you guys can see I'm literally purposely not greening the timing, but I'm greening the tempo. You can green shots without even greening the timing, and that's because of the tempo. Now, the way the tempo works is how fast and the rhythm of when you're shooting with the rhythm shooting with your stick. So when you're holding down, obviously, if you guys don't know how to shoot with the stick, in case anybody is a little bit confused when I say stick shooting, if you're normally just shooting with X like that, the way to stick shoot is you're going to hold the right stick down, and then you're going to flick it up at when you think you should release the ball. So, right, I'm going to hold down with the right stick, and then I'm going to flick up to obviously try to time my shot. But the thing that I'm talking about is that you don't need to time it. For example, I'm going to try to, it's a little bit hard to do at times, but I'm going to try to, there we go. I didn't green the timing. As you can see, I didn't get the timing in the, green window. There we go. Early. I just shot an early, but I'm still able to green. And the way is because of the tempo. Now, the tempo is when you hold the right stick down, how well you are doing that. Now, that just comes down to, practice, and that just comes down to feel. You can get a feel of when you should be releasing for the tempo and when you should be releasing for the timing. So again, that's why I think stick shooting is so much better, because even if you mess up the timing, there's still a good chance that you can end up greening the shot and making the shot because the tempo can be green. So obviously you want to try to green the shot because, I mean, it just makes more sense to green, but sometimes you might mess up, but you might actually nail the tempo and you might be able to green. So to me, I think having that over the button shooting is definitely why I'm going to be shooting with the stick for now, especially now that they've changed the hitch issue that was happening in my team. Now this video is specifically for my team. It obviously will work for park jump shots and if you guys are playing my career, but this is specifically for my team. And they did have a glitch where, or I guess it was a glitch. The glitch was like there was a lot of hitches and jump shots if you're using the stick timing. So now, you know, a lot of people are using the button, but now I think a lot of people are going to switch back to the stick now that they fixed that issue. I'm just not as consistent, at least when it comes to my team with the button. Like these are all with the button. I'm just not as consistent. So I know a lot of people have been asking on Twitter, and I've seen someone, you know, ask me that, you know, should they shoot with the button? Should they shoot with the stick? And to answer that question, I mean, I'm personally going to be shooting with the stick. I just think it makes a lot more sense. It's a lot easier to green consistently. And I mean, yes, I have Klay Thompson, right? He's obviously a really good three-point shooter. He has like a 98 3. So if you have a card that doesn't have as high of a three-pointer, it's probably not going to be as easy. Now, a quick setting I want to tell you guys about. Now, this isn't anything to do with shooting, but I wanted to kind of mention this in this type of video because it is something that you guys need to have turned off. So for example, if you scroll down in your controller settings, and if you go down to the passing tab, if you scroll down to this setting right here, auto lob to moving receiver, please make sure to turn this. If you have it set to enabled, turn it to disabled, because what happens is if, let's say I'm running a pick and roll right now and I go to throw a pass, it is going to throw a lob pass to that rolling person, to that rolling player. Or if you're sending a slip, or if you're just throwing a pass in general to a moving receiver, it is going to throw a lob pass, which is going to be a lot slower. You do not want to do that. Trust me, you want to have that setting turned to disabled. And another tip, guys, when it comes to the shooting this year, and a secret to shooting is going to be the no dip shooting. The way to make your release 12 times faster, like it is genuinely 10 times faster if you guys hold down LT. So for in a catch and shoot situation like this, you're going to hold down LT, L2, whatever console you do play on, PlayStation or Xbox. I'm going to hold L2, the left, you know, trigger, right? The LT, I think on Xbox, L2, or no, it's L2 on whatever, you guys know, L2, LT. You're going to want to hold down that button. You're going to call for the ball in this situation, or if you're just going to catch the ball and you're going to release. Now this is called no dip shooting this year, and my release is so much faster. If I don't use that, look how much slower my release is. So you want to hold down L2 if you guys want. Now I will say, it makes your release like genuinely so fast that sometimes I feel like it's not even actually worth it to do. But if you can master this skill of no dip shooting and holding down LT in a catch and shoot situation. So again, I'm obviously playing in shoot around right now, so you know, I'm having to like click A. But if you're playing my team and you pass the ball to somebody, you want to try to hold down L2, so when they're in the catch and shoot, they're going to get a way faster release. Again, it can be sometimes hard to time because of how fast the jump shot is, but I do think it's something that can be really good if you guys can master the skill. So I would practice when you're playing domination, when you're playing offline game modes, whenever you're in a catch and shoot situation, try to hold down LT, L2 before you guys shoot. And again, it's going to make your release a lot faster, but it's something new in 2K26 that I think could really help you guys out when it comes to shooting the basketball at a higher level, since you're able to get the ball, you know, you're able to get your shot off a lot faster. It just might be a bit more hard to time because again, how fast the release is. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is just going to be shooting fades in this game. Cards like Klay Thompson have a really good fade, and it's always a good skill to have in your bag. I usually shoot with the button, but I'm probably going to try to shoot fades with a stick this year. I just feel like they're a little bit better as well. I was shooting with the button last year and I had pretty good success on the fades, but basically you just want to run to the corner and you just want to, I mean, shoot the ball in the corner. It's like a fade shot. I mean, I'm sure you guys know how to shoot fades, but learning to master this skill is something that I would highly, highly recommend for everybody that is going to be playing this game, because shooting fades is one of the most overpowered ways to score the ball. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I went over everything I could in the best detail possible. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But I think those are kind of the tips and tricks to help you guys shoot this year when it comes to the no dip shooting, when it comes to the, you know, shooting whether with the stick or with the button, kind of giving you guys some tips there with the tempo thing, and not actually having to green the tempo, not having to actually green the timing, and only having to green the tempo is something that I think is really valuable to have when it comes to shooting with the stick, you know, overshooting with the button. You know, turning off that setting is really important, talking about what actual shot timing visual cue to play on, and then also that setting when it comes to the lob pass. Not anything to do with shooting, but I thought it was really important for you guys to know, and also fade. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I tried to give you guys all my tips and tricks when it comes to shooting this year in 2K26. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys found this video helpful, drop a like down below, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll catch you boys in the next one. Peace.